Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to tell you about Munshi Premchandra Vidvansh. In Banaras district there is a village called Bira in which an old childless widow used to live. She was a gaunt woman named Bhungi and she didn't own either a scrap of a land or a house to live in. Her only source of livelihood was a perching oven. The village folk customarily have one meal a day of perched grains, so there was always a crowd around Bungi's oven. Whatever grain she was paid for perching, she would grind or fry and eat. She slept in a corner of the same little shack that sheltered the oven. As soon as it was light, she would get up and go out to gather dry leaves from all around to make her fire. She would stake the leaves right next to the oven, and after 12 light the fire. But on the days when she had to purchase grain for Pandit Udayan Pandey, the owner of the village, she went to bed hungry. She was obliged to work without pay for Pandit Udayan Pandey. She also had to fetch water for his house, and for this reason, from time to time, the oven was not lit. She lived in a Pandit village, therefore, he had a full authority to make her do any sort of odd job. In his opinion, if she received food for working for him, how could it be considered as a work done without pay? He was doing her a favor, in fact, by letting her live in the village at all. It was a spring day on which the fresh grain was fried and eaten and given as a gift. No fire was lit in the house. Pungi's oven was being put to good use today. There was a crowd worthy of a village fair around her. She had scarcely opportunity to draw a breath because of the customer impatience. Squabble kept breaking out. Then two servants arrived, each carrying a heaped basket of grain from Pandit Udayan with the order to purge it right away. When Bungi saw the two baskets, she was alarmed. It was already after 12, and even by sunset, she would not have time to purge so much grain. Now she would have to stay at the oven purching until after dark for no payment. In despair, she took the two baskets. One of the flunkies said, "Don't waste any time or you will be sorry." With this command, the servant went away and Bhungi began to purge the grain. It's no laughing matter to purge a whole mod of grain. She had to keep stopping from the purging in order to keep the oven fire going. So by sundown, not even half the work was done. She was afraid Panditji man would be coming. She began to move her hand all the more frantically. Soon the servant returned and said, "Well, is the grain purged?" Feeling bold, Bungi said, "Can't you see I am purging it now? The whole day gone, and you haven't finished any more grain than this. Have you been roasting it or spoiling it? This is completely uncooked. How it is going to be used for food? It's ruined for us. You will see what Panditji does to you for this." The result was that night the oven was dug up and Bungi was left without a means of livelihood. Bungi now had no means of support. The villagers suffered a good deal too from the destructions of the oven. In many houses, even at noon, cooked cereal was no longer available. People went to Panditji and asked him to give the order for the old woman oven to be rebuilt and the fire once more lighted. But but he paid no attention to them. He could not suffer a loss of face. A few people who wished her well urged her to move to another village, but her heart would not accept this suggestion. She had spent her 50 miserable years in this village, and she loved every leaf on every tree. Here she had known the sorrow and pleasures of life. She could not give it up now in the last days. The very idea of moving distressed her. Sorrow in the village was preferable to happiness in another. A month went by. Very early one morning, Pandit Udayban, taking this little band of servants with him, went out to collect his rents. Now, when he looked toward the old woman oven, he fell into a violent rage. It was being made again. Bungi was energetically rebuilding it with balls of clay. Most likely, she would spend the night at this work and wanted to finish it before the sun hoped that he had forgotten his anger by then. But alas, the poor creature had grown old without growing wise. Suddenly, Panditji shouted, "By whose order?" Bewildered, Bungi saw that he was standing before her. He demanded once again, "By whose order are you building it?" In a flight, she said, "Everybody said I should build it, and so I am building it. I'll have it smashed again." With this, he kicked the oven. The wet clay collapsed in a heap. He kicked at through again, but she ran in front of it and took the kick in her side. Rubbing her ribs, she said, "Maharaj, you are not afraid of anybody, but you ought to fear God. What good does it do you to ruin me like this? Do you think gold is growing to out of a small piece of land for your own good? I am telling you, don't torment poor people. Don't be the death of me. You are not going to build any oven here again if I don't how am I going to be able to eat? I am not responsible for your belly, Pandit Devan said. But if I do nothing except chores for you, where will I go for food? The woman said. If you are going to stay in the village, you will have to do my chores, Pandit said. I'll do them when I have built my ore. I can't do your work just for the sake of staying in the village. Then don't just get out of the village. How can I? I have grown old in this hut. My in-laws and their grandparents lived in this same hut, except for Yama, king of that. Nobody is going to force me out of it now. Excellent. Now you are quoting scripture. Pandit Udayan said, if you would worked hard, I might have let you stay. But after this, I won't rest until I had you thrown out. To his attendants, he said, go get piles of leaves right away and set fire the whole thing. We will show her how to make an on. In a moment, there was a tremendous rocket. The names leapt toward the sky. The blaze spread widely in all directions till the villagers came clustering around the mountain of fire. Hopelessly, Bungi stood by her oven, watching the conflagration. Suddenly, with a violent dash, she hurled herself into the names. They came running from everywhere, but no one had the courage to go into the mouth of the blaze. In a matter of seconds, her withered body was completely consumed. At that moment, the wind rose with a gust. The liberated flames began to race toward the east. There were some peasants' huts near the oven which were engulfed by the fire's flames. Paid in this way, the blaze spread even further. Panditji burn was in its path and its pounced upon it. By now, the whole village was in a panic. They began to band together to put out the fire, but the sprinkle of water acted like oil on it, and the flames kept mounting higher. Pandit Udayan's splendid mansion was swallowed up while he watched. It tossed like a ship amid wild waves and disappeared in the sea of fire. The sound of lamentation that broke out amidst the ashes was even more pitiful than Bungi's grievous cries. Thank you for watching.